tell me what the weather is like in Arizona City today.
Arizona City is a balmy, it'll be low 90s today, clear sky with clear skies and no humidity. So I'm happy to be down here today. You know what I mean, Val?
I know exactly what you mean. Greg, you are crystal clear. Your line check is great. I'm thrilled that you are joining the Alberta 51 podcast. It's your first time on the Alberta 51 podcast. So I just want to take a minute and share a little bit about who you are, what you're doing. You are a household name in Alberta. I've been on the phone nonstop this week, and I'm hearing Greg Meekin, Greg Meekin, Greg Meekin. But for those of you that are new to the podcast, Greg, just take a minute, and you're an author, you're a media guru, but just share a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Wow, I still am surprised when you say the expression household word. I still can't get used to that, even that concept, you know. I am, as I've shared many times on your previous podcasts and on the American Rock Radio Network with Mike Phillip, I'm an old dual citizen. I was raised in Montreal as a hockey kid and English kid in Montreal in the province of Quebec, and got sick and tired of Quebec. I was a real estate guy in Montreal. Got sick and tired of Quebec and left for the United States of America in 1983. I was blessed to have been born in the United States, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So I was sick and tired of Quebec. I wanted to, as a matter of fact, leave for the United States to live under a gentleman named Ronald Reagan. He inspired me. And as a lot of people know, he literally brought patriotism back to the United States from the burnout Carter years. So I spent most of my adult life in the Seattle area as a car guy, middle manager in the auto industry, finance guy, sales manager, general sales manager, etc. And retired down to good old Arizona about 3 years ago, right in the middle of COVID, and retired down here. I had authored 2 previous books in my younger days, so I decided to, during COVID, to publish my 3rd book, which is Why I Came to America and What I Think Now. And that came out a little over a year ago, and since that book came out, I've been kind of deluged. I was introduced at that time to the Alberta 51 group. I was introduced at that time to Mike Phillip in the American Radio Network, and it's kind of snowballed from there. So I sit down here in Arizona right now, kind of amazed, truly amazed at the past couple of years, and amazed at how far the Alberta USA movement has come in a very short period of time. So here I sit with you, Val.
You will go down in history, Greg, as being one of the key men who brought patriotism back to Alberta and sparking it. What you are doing right now, you really are the brains behind the AB51vote.com website and the upcoming referendum. So let's just talk about the website, because when I say you're becoming a household name in Alberta, you are, because you're sparking patriotism. There are patriots from one side of Alberta to the other, and they are doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is having a say and determining their destiny. And this wouldn't be a possibility where we're at today, AB51vote.com, without you, pen to paper, and so much more than that, creating a way, really truly creating a safe way to allow Albertans to have their say. So tell us a little bit about the AB51vote.com website.
Wow, I'm very humbled. I really mean it, Val, and you know this. Very humbled to hear you speak like this. As much as I kind of am out there as an author, I'm a very, very private person, as you know. So I'm deeply humbled. It means a lot. It means a lot to me to hear the feedback that you've received from Alberta. It means a lot to me, and I don't ever take that for granted. as you well know, because you're part of the Arizona 48 delegation.
Yes.
Small group of folks, small powerful group of folks down here. Yours truly, Val Olson, a gentleman named Gordon Kessler, speaking about living legends in Alberta. Gordon Kessler, of course, Mike Phillip. A nice little team of folks down here who basically wanted to really inspire and help Alberta in their quest to become the 51st state, because it's been talked about for many years, Val, as you know. And so I kind of conceived of the concept of a referendum, but a private grassroots poll referendum. I had, as you know, I had voted personally in 2 provincial referendums in Quebec. And I'm very, very familiar with the old Trudeau years, because you remember, I think I'd even published a story on Pierre Elliott Trudeau back then. So I was really looking for a way to help or to perhaps guide Alberta in their quest. And I came up with this concept of having a referendum, but have it based out of the United States. My theory all along, especially when drilling down into the idea, in the past couple of years, my feeling was that the best shot at Alberta 51 was for an invitation to come from the United States side of the border, because the concept of either Alberta or any other province becoming part of the United States, as far as the U.S. is concerned, you'd be coming back home to the United States, because the founding fathers built into the original documents an open invitation, providing that 50+1 in the United States Senate says it's okay. The invitation has been provided for Canadians from the founding fathers of the U.S. way back when Canada was essentially assumed by Britain. So with this concept, I literally, and it's fun for you, you saw the inside, really the inside workings of putting together this website. It is now, the domain is ab51vote.com. And folks can log on. They can vote as simple as it is. They can vote yes, they can vote no, or they can vote undecided. And what's also really cool about the website, I've had rave reviews of it because of its simplicity. Not only can people vote quick like a bunny, but they can comment. There's a section to comment there. And the pages that are on there are really simple. I kind of call them like brochure, simple types of pages, literally to assist people in gathering quick information about the issue in the Alberta 51 movement. One page, which I think is the most valuable page anywhere in the movement, is what does your daily life look like for regular Albertans who are under the U.S. flag, the U.S. Constitution. And funny, Val, this feels full circle here. We did an entire show just on those benefits, the checklist. I don't know if you had them in front of you, but maybe you could go through a few later on. So what does daily life look like for Albertans? And that checklist will really, really open folks' eyes. And the second page on there is, because it's a huge issue, that when Alberta becomes the 51st state of the United States, they're able to draft your own state constitution. Unlike Canada, where you're kind of ruled by Ottawa, just to make it simple, in the United States, because it is a republic, it gives tremendous power to the individual states. I've said many times on the air that the United States is like 50 little countries under one federal protection, constitutional protection, but 50 little countries, and each country gets to draft their own constitution. So that page on the website, what would a state constitution for Alberta look like, is also just an enormous amount of eye-opening knowledge to a lot of folks. So just those 2 pages, daily life in Alberta, daily life in the US, and the state constitution, are really priceless pages. There's other pages, as you well know. The background to the website was a memo I had written to Albertans, I'm guessing a year ago. And also a new part of the site are the fun videos, Val. I don't know if you've seen those yet, but there have been so many videos produced in the past year that I said, oh, let's just post them on the site and give folks an idea of just kind of what background and how much radio work, how much television work, how much video work has been done, really promoting Alberta 51 and some of the press coverage that's had. So there you go, kind of a wordy synopsis of the site itself, but it comes with real time and treasure behind it. This website was launched really so that regular Albertans can be assured that their voices will be heard this time and their vote will count. I've called it a forensic poll, in that I don't care. I didn't care from the beginning whether 12 people voted or 10,000 or a million people voted, providing we knew for sure that every person was a real person, unlike American elections these days, Val. They're a real person, they're all over 18 and eligible to vote, and that their vote indeed is counted. So it's been real time and treasure to put together this website and this project. And as you know, June 30th is the big day. June 30th is the day that we're going to just simply tabulate the votes and release them publicly. And as again, you well know, the day after, July 1st, will be either way, we'll be posting that big old Blue Angels flyover declaring July 1st, Alberta 51 Independence Day. You remember that video very well, Val. So I'll just turn the mic over to you for a few minutes here. I appreciate that time to just kind of give the background.
AB51vote.com is the website. Greg Meekin is our guest on the Alberta 51 podcast today. The website is so user-friendly. It's simple. It's easy. You'll find you'll land on the page, and within a couple hours, you're going to watch all the videos. You're going to take the time, and becoming American starts in your heart. And this is our home pad. This is our camp where you're going to get caught up to speed on achieving the dream, on becoming an American. And it all comes down to what daily life in the USA is like. And I'm just thrilled to be here living the true and real American dream. From day one of Alberta, USA, this is what life's going to look like. I'm just going to list some of my favorites. Dual citizenship forever. And you can retain your Canadian citizenship too. New and better Alberta healthcare, just like Canada, but American and world-class care. And how does 45 cents per liter of gas sound? Groceries reduced by minimum of 25%. I'm telling you, I'm a coupon shopper, and your price goes down and your quality goes up. That's because of free enterprise, baby, something that we do not know what is like in Canada, that's for sure. And, you know, it's all about choosing schools for your kids. You're the parents, you decide, and it's quality and the best. Today, I just had the privilege of school shopping and taking my little kiddos to what's going to be their new school. And that's what it's all about. It's choice and selection and quality. And I get excited talking about it. So I'm sure I've whet your appetite, and you want to go to the website and you want to take care of business. It's AB51vote.com. And we say take care of business, we're talking about you and your life and your destiny and your children's future. And now is not a time for excuses. Now is a time to say it's time to make history and have your say. So Greg, tell us, how can Albertans have their say?
Well, they can have their say by voting yes on the referendum and going from there, starting in July. That's how they can have their say. They can continue, as they have been, being a cheering section and support group for not only, of course, the referendum vote, but also the wonderful Facebook group, the Alberta 51 statehood group, and of course AB51project.com, AB51project.com. As you well know, Val, they're nice folks up in Alberta, and they are really coordinating the entire movement. They're really one of the main funnels to get information from, a turnkey kind of organization and group. And of course, once again, Val, how about this? The podcast here, AB51 podcast.com is a wonderful place, as you well know, because you host it, Val. Is a wonderful place to really get the boots on the ground, nitty gritty for folks as far as knowledge of the issues and the players, the Peter Downings of the world and the Greg Meekins of the world, just what's going on. So continue gathering information and supporting the mission, but most importantly, vote. Vote, whether it is yes, whether it's no, or whether it's undecided. Vote on the website. That's the most important thing to do. And I've always said we'll regroup in July and see where we all are.
So one strategy we're going to get into, because this is huge, and this is attracting a lot of people. Now, I am putting my name to this as a high integrity journalist, as an information specialist, and someone who's also been on the inside of this voting portal of the website ab51vote.com. We are now attracting and gaining a lot of influence by voting with one voice. Okay, so who and what does this mean? Voting with one voice. Greg, can you break that down for us?
I'll tell you what. I'm finding out it's kind of a new concept when it comes to at least elections, voting, polling, etc. It's kind of a new concept, and it's really evolved during the referendum process. There are a number of organizations out there, and I'll speak for tribal organizations, religious-based organizations like churches, local nonprofits, where they have a large number of people in them, and basically the folks want to vote with one voice. In other words, almost like a little republic unto itself. In other words, if you have a church group, for example, I'll tell you what, I've mentioned this on the air a lot, Val, is I am amazed at the proactive pastors that are out there, not only in Canada, but in the United States. And there are a number of pastors I've talked to, and they've got maybe a congregation of, let's say, a couple hundred people, or maybe 100, or maybe 500, whatever. And they have said that their folks really are all pro-Alberta 51 folks. It's pretty much across the board, and I know for a fact that in the tribal world, they tend to vote as one voice, meaning they all agree. So let's elect a leader and get our votes counted and voices heard. What that means in this case is, if there are pastors out there, or if there are group leaders that indeed feel there's consensus within their organization, I would like to talk to them directly, because we'll just count them. We'll count their votes and their voice as a group, because we'll have a nice accurate number. There are going to be rules that apply. Meaning every single voter, of course, within that congregation or that group, they need to be 18 years or older, eligible to vote in a regular Alberta referendum. If requested, they need to present valid ID to prove their eligibility, an email address and contact info, but indeed as a group. So there have been a number that I've talked to, and I really want to reach out right now to especially pastors up in Alberta. If indeed you have the congregation is kind of in sync as far as their thinking, and they are pro-Alberta 51 folks, if anything, for religious freedom. Hello. Remember the lockdowns and the COVID episode up in Canada, but for the religious freedoms, for the constitutional freedoms, etc. If their congregation wants to vote, let's say there's 200 votes, the pastor can contact me directly, and we'll log those as 200 votes, or whatever the exact number is. And it gives people an opportunity, because I'll tell you what, Val, I've learned so much in this past 6 months or so, there are a lot of disenfranchised people out there, and especially from Alberta that I hear. There are a lot of folks that either are not able to vote in elections. There's a lot of areas of Canada that has real touch and go internet connection. There's just a lot of disenfranchised voters, and that indeed, when they vote, they think maybe their vote's not counted or not having really any effect on the election. So these are the folks that we want to approach, and again, have pastors or group leaders speak for their congregation or their group. It's, I think, a really unique, maybe unparalleled opportunity for to really gather the pulse and the feel of the entire province, not only with individual votes, but goodness, with group votes. So there you
Oh,
go.
it's so true. It's so true. And this works. I can attest to that as someone who's boots on the ground in the trenches in Alberta. And I mean, I was able to rally thousands of people in days to sign a petition. So when you
Yep.
think about who you influence, I mean, if you only need to go backwards and look at my trackable numbers of my reach as an influencer, but I'm also speaking to you in your neighborhood, in your community. You're also an influencer, and you influence lots of people, your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers. You think of the groups and organizations your kids are a part of, your family's a part of. Get busy. I know you want this, and now is the time to rise up as a mom or a wife or just a concerned community member. It doesn't matter what political party or you are a part of. This is taking a stand and being accountable in your community. It's like becoming the mayor of your own little community, or republic, as you put it, Greg. But think about it like that. And if we all start thinking of how many people we influence, all of a sudden you realize I'm able to rise up. The instructions are easy. I go to the AB51vote.com website and I get a hold of Greg. And this is a forensic audit. We are making sure that this is it's open, it's honest. We know who the people are, and I've been inside this portal. I'm putting my name on this, Greg. You've also taken the time to make sure people are reached and they're taken care of. Their name isn't just a number, but they are a real living Albertan who, as you said, are finally going to have a say.
That's right on the money, right there. Right on the money, Val.
It's grassroots.
I'll tell you what, it's so interesting. You touched on such an interesting point here. Now that we're talking, kind of the groups and the concept of speaking with one voice, and I think you had heard, I did an analysis of the Alberta election, the recent Alberta election on Mike Phillips' show a couple of weeks ago. And in evaluating the Alberta election, where of course Daniel Smith won, I think that is good news. I think that's good news for Albertans right now, that basically the people in Alberta haven't fallen off their rocker and would vote for NDP as leadership. So I think it's good news, if anything, that the Conservatives and Daniel Smith won. I really don't think there's any opportunity at all for Premier Smith or any politician in Alberta to really make a difference, just because of how the limited number of seats they have, and the overbearing influence that Ottawa has. But in analyzing the election, it surprised me that we all think of the Conservatives, the UCP, and the NDP, but there are 12 other political parties that were running in that race and actually got votes. One of them, my favorite one, is the Alberta Communist Party. They are what they are. They say what they are. It's great, but they got some votes. And so I, hand in hand with this concept of just groups and voting as one, I'm thinking, going through the list of these 12 other parties, there are a lot of them, regardless of kind of ideology, that'll be yes voters. For example, the Wexit and Western Independent parties. There's a number of them. You know the players and the folks within that, within those quote independents or Alberta parties. I'm sitting saying, well, they're going to be all yes votes. If they indeed, I can't dream that they would ever vote socialist or NDP or whatever. So, well, what about other parties? What about other parties? And I'm looking through the other 12 parties, and I'm saying, wow, I think the Alberta 51 movement is going to be a completely crossover movement in that there are going to be liberals and conservatives. There's going to be there will be faith-based organizations, and there'll be atheist organizations. There'll be capitalists and socialists. I've joked at one point, Val. I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but I once posted online that when it comes down to the U.S. Senate, whether the U.S. Senate would want Alberta to be part of the United States, I joked that it might be the only thing that goes through the Senate at 100 to nothing, 100 to 0. It was tongue in cheek, but it was really commenting on the fact that whether you're a liberal or a conservative, the Democrats down here would love having Alberta in the fold because of the prosperity and the ability to really increase the power of the United States, the not the power, but the energy independence, and really the ability to fund better social safety net programs, better health care than ever before, et cetera, simply because of adding Alberta to the fold, bringing that incredible, of course, wealth as far as oil, natural resources, and the incredible Alberta people, the workforce, a very educated population. So there you go. I don't know if it would pass the Senate 100 to nothing, but I'll bet you it's going to be a real nonpartisan crossover vote, Val.
Hello, it's a no-brainer. We have no say. We have no say in Ottawa. That's just the cold, hard truth. And I'm telling you the truth. Even if you vote in Alberta, it doesn't matter. Ottawa decides. You don't even get a say. So once we become the 51st state, oh boy, are we ever going to get a say, let me tell you. So this is so exciting. And this is finally our chance to pursue freedom. AB51vote.com. Don't waste any time. Do it before dinner. That's my advice. Greg, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I just want to give you a minute just to share what's on your heart and tell people where they can find your latest work, including all the juicy stuff on your website, because there's major updates on gregmeekin.com.
Well, thank you so much. That's a nice introduction for sign off here. Very, very nice. The place to go for me is really gregmeekin.com, my website. And that's GREGMEAKIN.com. There you'll find pretty much everything that you need to know, quote, about me and my work. There's a bio on there called About Greg that a lot of people have been referencing lately, like, hey, who's this dual citizen guy? But basically, it'll have what's going on right now and everything that I've written, most of the stuff I've written over the years, especially the trending site, the trending section of my website has got so much AB51 stuff. There's kind of current press releases, and there's even things in the past like open letters to Justin Trudeau and Q&A with the Alberta 51 group. So it's a wealth of information. What people will notice who have been following my website, there's really a brand new feature on it right now, and you'll see when you go onto the homepage, you will see beautiful Alberta 51 custom hockey jerseys. Imagine that, Val Olson, where I designed from the very beginning kind of a promotional item, something that people remember. And I've as I've mentioned on the air, I've been Mr. Hockey Jersey for about the last 30 years. When I launched my ice arena in Bremerton, my hockey jerseys, my customized jerseys became legendary, and they were worn by folks like named Gretzky and Beliveau and Apollo Ono and Rosalind Sumners and Cami Granato. And so hand in hand with that tone, I wanted to just do something kind of special as really a promotional, fun thing, that fun word, Val. And so I just designed an Alberta 51 custom hockey jersey. And again, they were kind of initially designed just as a PR item. Folks might know if they watched my YouTube channel. By the way, Val, I'm approaching 12,000 views on my YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah, there's over 450 videos, and one of the most special videos, I actually posted it for fun today, was a video of me and Sheriff Mark Lamb with two custom AB51 hockey jerseys going through the process of a hockey fight. You might remember that video.
Yes.
So, believe it or not, that just got, as can be imagined, that just got thousands of views or interest because it was funny. It was a 1 minute video, but it turns out that was over a year ago. That campfire chat where these jerseys were just first introduced as something fun. And since they were produced and folks have been able to see some, I've been just getting inquiry after inquiry about how to get one. So I just decided to just offer them up on my website. They can be custom made. They are custom made for folks, where the folks will get their own last name, just like an NHL hockey player, their own last name. And there's a gorgeous tail tag on the bottom that says Alberta, USA. It's beautiful. And the special thing you mentioned, what's on my heart, Val. What's on my heart is that beautiful crest that's on the front of the jersey. We did an entire show last week on Mike Phillips' show discussing the crest, because the crest turned out to be a work of art by my artist son, Carson Meekin. And what's on my heart is, I'll tell you what, was making that, not only that crest, but that jersey special. And a one of a kind. And so I am offering them up, just really kind of a referendum special. We're going to be charging $299 US, including free shipping. Jerseys, hockey jerseys, and memorabilia and stuff's getting really expensive. There are jerseys out there that you can pay $400 or $500 for now. But I wanted to keep it reasonable, affordable for folks that really wanted a one-of-a-kind commemorative acknowledgement, really, of this movement and this referendum. So indeed, they are Alberta 51 custom hockey jerseys. They are peek on my website, gregmeekin.com. It gives you a little bit of information. If there are ever any net proceeds, which we just don't know, as stuff's so expensive now, and post is expensive, they'll go towards the IT costs of launching these past websites and stuff. So not a money maker, whatever, just a really from the heart wanting to have something for folks that are really the old Alberta hockey enthusiasts, and whether they're hockey enthusiasts or not. It's just a really nice keepsake, and something that folks will have forever. And the one thing for sure is the Alberta 51 custom hockey jerseys are a one of a kind. You will never, ever be able to find them anywhere, mainly because of that custom crest, Carson Meekin's crest. It really is a work of art. And there's even on my YouTube channel, there's a number of videos that are mainly the Mike Phillips show, where we were just analyzing the crest and the hidden messages and secret messages within the crest itself, paying tribute to Alberta. So that was on my heart. I thank you so much for allowing me to kind of share that. And by the way, Val, you just broke something here, because this morning, literally this morning, is the first time those jerseys have been available to the public. I let people know. This is a private thing. It's not a tax deductible donation or anything. It's a private thing. Very straightforward. $299 US funds, including with free shipping. So hopefully people will love that, and there will be a lot of jerseys, as there already are, with a bunch of selfies and photos. And once people receive them and try them on, I'll tell you, they've been giddy. You can attest to that, Val. Mike Phillip just went crazy over his last week. Gordy Kessler went crazy over his. It was fun. It really was fun. And if anything, I think I've said this to you in the past, this is not just for hockey people. There's something so cool about a hockey jersey, that custom hockey jersey's got your name on it. Seriously, there's something really cool about it. So if anything, if that's the only thing I leave kind of on the AB51 movement, I know they'll be around for many decades, those little jerseys. So I would be happy if that's one thing I'm remembered for. How about that, Val? How about that?
These jerseys are time sensitive, and if you want to have yours male or female, get it and don't wait. I can't thank you enough for my jersey. I tear up just thinking about it because in my mind, I know I will be wearing that jersey with pride as I become an Alberta, USA American, full on American. Alberta, USA American. That's what it's all about. It's freedom. And that's what that jersey represents. And I'm going to link that podcast that you're talking about, where you talk about some of the secret messages inside of the jersey, because it's just incredible having that chance to talk to Carson Meakin and just hear about every detail in that jersey symbolizes some very, very important stuff. So if you want to watch the video, I will attach it to this Twitter broadcast. And again, I just want to thank you, Greg, for taking the time today and sharing so much information drops today. Don't forget, you at home, you're an Albertan, do not put this off. There is not one single politician in Alberta who is best equipped to answer a question about you and your future. This is a question for you and your family that you are responsible for. Take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and get on the portal, ab51vote.com, and sign up today. Save your seat. Save your seat for freedom, people. That's what we're going to do. It's the Alberta 51 podcast, episode 5. Greg Meakin, our guest today. Thanks so much.